Hey, Skull Nation. What's up, you purple-blooded warriors? I'm your die-hard Vikings fan, the one who's been screaming at my screen since the day I first laced up those purple cleats in my backyard. Grab your horns and huddle up because today's Vikings news from the Vikings news feed is hitting harder than a Myles Garrett blindside. Picture this. Our off-season dream of a bulletproof offensive line? It's crumbling faster than a poorly blocked screen pass, with injuries piling up like penalties in overtime. Brian O'Neill, our rock at right tackle, just went down with a sprained MCL in that gut-wrenching loss to the Steelers in Dublin. Yeah, we're talking international heartbreak here. And that's not all. We've got more holes than a leaky purple jersey. Stick with me through this roller coaster because I'm breaking it down scene by scene, and trust me, by the end, you'll be fired up to rally the troops. Who's ready to chant Skull with me? Drop a comment if you're feeling the pain already. Our boys started the offseason with big plans to fortify that O-line. Remember? We all dreamed of a trench warfare unit that could pave highways for Justin Jefferson to sprint down. But nope, reality check. Injuries have turned our front five into a game of musical chairs. We're 2-2 now, scraping by, but heading into London against the Browns with 3 backups starting? That's like sending rookies into a Thunderdome. Kevin O'Connell's keeping it real, but man, as a fan, my heart's racing. Will we hold up against that ferocious Cleveland pass rush? Led by Garrett, those guys have 12 sacks already this season, averaging 3.0 per game. What do you think, fam? Can our backups rise up? Or is this the wake-up call we needed? Hit me with your hot takes below. Teaser time, Vikings faithful. What if I told you that even in this chaos, there's a silver lining with J.J. McCarthy eyeing a practice return this week? Yeah, our young gunslinger could be slinging it again soon. But first, let's dive deep into the wreckage, because understanding the hurt makes the comeback story that much sweeter. Buckle up. We're just getting started on this Vikings news breakdown. Brian O'Neill, man, just saying his name fires me up. He's the stalwart, the captain, the guy who started 70 straight games for us without missing a beat since 2019. But in that Dublin showdown against Pittsburgh, during Will Reichard's 41-yard field goal in the first quarter, O'Neill crumpled. Teammates knelt around him like it was a prayer circle, trainers swarming, and my stomach dropped watching the replay. A sprained MCL, confirmed by MRI week to week, no IR, thank the football gods. O'Connell called it Tuesday. He's tough as nails, but we're smart about this. That's our coach. Optimistic but no BS. O'Neill's been a Pro Bowler twice, anchoring the right side with 85.3 PFF grades last year, allowing just 2 sacks in 1,200 pass-blocking snaps. Losing him is like pulling the anchor on a ship in a storm. He was out there protecting Carson Wentz's blindside when the Steelers sacked him 6 times. 6. That's 42 yards lost, folks, turning potential drives into 3-and-outs. Without Brian, our run game's averaging a measly 3.8 yards per carry lately. Fans, does this make you miss the old days, or are you trusting the depth? Sound off in the comments. I need to know if I'm alone in pacing my living room. But here's the hook. O'Neill's grit means he could be back post-bye, turning this setback into fuel. Imagine him exploding off the line against Detroit in Week 7, pancaking defenders like it's nothing. That's the Vikings way, resilient, roaring back stronger. Stay tuned as we unpack the next blow to our line. You won't believe who's stepping up next. Ryan Kelly at center, our veteran snapper, the glue holding it all together. Signed to stabilize after Garrett Bradbury's inconsistencies, Kelly's been a rock. Until now. Second concussion this season, announced by the team, putting him in protocol after that brutal Steelers hit. First one was Week 2 against Atlanta. He shook it off, but this? O'Connell's watching closely. Health first, always. Kelly's missed just 5% of snaps in his career, but concussions don't care about stats, they sideline warriors. Think about the ripple. Kelly's 78.2 PFF run-blocking grade kept our ground game humming at 4.5 yards per pop early on. Without him, snaps get sloppy. We've seen fumbled exchanges up 15% in backups. Against Pittsburgh, Michael Juergens jumped in seamlessly, playing 58 snaps, but the pressure showed, Wentz under duress on 42% of dropbacks. It's the second time this year Vikings news reports, highlighting our O-line's fragility. What scares you more, Skull fam? A shaky pocket or lost rhythm up front? I'm sweating it. Tell me your fears. Suspense builds. If Kelly's out long, does this force a trade before the deadline? O'Connell hinted at depth tests. But with London looming, it's all hands on deck. Hang tight. Next up, the guard who's fighting back from surgery, and how it all ties into our backup brigade. Donovan Jackson, our rookie right guard sensation, drafted 24th overall to inject youth and fire. But week 2 against Atlanta? Wrist tweak that turned into surgery Monday in LA. O'Connell broke the news, saying it's weeks, not months, but still a dagger. Jackson was limited in practice before Cincy, played 56 snaps in that 48-10 route, but the bloody nose was a sign. Now, full recovery mode. No short-term IR expected, per Vikings news. Stats don't lie. Jackson's 82.1 PFF grade as a rook, anchoring between Darisaw and Juergens, helped us rush for 142 yards on 28 carries versus Bengals. His absence? We've shuffled Blake Brandel over, dropping our line's overall efficiency to 62nd percentile. Surgery means precision work. Wrist ligaments don't heal sloppy in the NFL. Fans, remember his college dominance at Ohio State? This kid's a future stud. Are you optimistic he'll return swinging? Drop your predictions. The plot thickens. With Jackson sidelined, our O-line's a patchwork quilt heading to London. But wait, enter the backups stepping into the spotlight, heroes in purple. Who's ready for their underdog stories? Let's roll. Week 5 in London. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Us versus the Browns, and our O-line's starting 3 backups. Justin Skule slides in for O'Neal at right tackle, veteran swingman. Filled in for Darisaw weeks 1-2. Holding his own with 75.4 PFF against the Bears. He's faced Garrett before. In 2023, limited him to 1 pressure. Skule's got that gritty, never-quit vibe. Played 300 snaps last year. 0 sacks allowed in relief. Then Blake Brandel for Jackson at right guard, second-year guy. Started all 17 in 2024. 71.2 PFF grade. He relieved Darisaw and Jackson last week, playing 22 snaps clean. Brandel's footwork's sneaky quick. Against Cincy, he stonewalled Trey Hendrickson on a key 3rd down. And Michael Juergens at center, second-year stud. Started versus Bengals and Pitt, 58 snaps each, 76.8 grade. Replaced Kelly in Atlanta too, no fumbles. Facing Cleveland's pass rush, Garrett's got 4.5 sacks already. Their D-line's top 5 with 18 QB hits. We've allowed 14 sacks in 4 games. Worst in the NFC North. But backups uniting? That's Vikings magic. What matchup worries you most, nation? Skule versus Garrett? Let me know. Your input fuels the fire. This backup trio's our lifeline. Underdrafted, overlooked, now carrying the flag. Imagine them gelling in London, turning Wembley into a Skull echo chamber. But hold on. Even amid the O-line apocalypse, QB hope glimmers bright. J.J. McCarthy, our golden boy, Michigan legend, first-round fire. Sidelined since week 2 high ankle sprain, missing Cincy and Dublin, but O'Connell dropped gold Tuesday. He could return to practice this week. Not starting versus Browns, smart, full reps first, but it's huge. McCarthy's been rehabbing like a beast, ankle feeling better. Per insiders, eyeing scout team reps in London. Flashback, pre-injury, JJ was 68% completion, 2 TDs, 1 INT in limited action, 92.4 passer rating. That poise? Electric. Post by week 6, he could reclaim the huddle versus Philly. Eagles D is no joke, but McCarthy's built for it. Vikings news buzzing, 101% health threshold, no risks. Fans, doesn't this spark joy after the gloom? When do you want him back, week 7 or bust? The comeback kid narrative's unfolding. McCarthy slinging to J-Jettas, protected by backups? Chef's kiss. But first, Wentz is holding the fort. Let's talk his roller coaster ride. Carson Wentz stepping up in McCarthy's stead, veteran savvy. 1-1 record filling in. Against Cincy, masterclass. 173 yards, 2 TDs, 0 picks. That 48-10 blowout had us roaring. But Dublin? Oof, 4 TDs total this stretch, but 2 INTs and 6 sacks. Fumbling once, 24-21 loss. Wentz's arms cannon, 350 yards versus Pitt, but decisions wobble under pressure, 58.3% completion when blitzed. Deep dive. Wentz's 89.2 rating backup, but O-line woes amplified sacks, 42 yards lost, stalling drives. Still, those 4 TDs? Clutch. 2 to Addison, 1 to Nanda, 1 scramble score. He's 10-8 career as starter, but at 32 is he bridge or bust? Skull Squad, Wentz hero or placeholder? I'm torn. Comment your stance. Wentz's grit buys time, but McCarthy's shadow looms large. Wrapping this saga, how do we turn injuries to triumphs? Is the Vikings ethos, Purple Heart, never fold? We've dissected the devastation. O'Neill's MCL, Kelly's concussion repeat, Jackson's wrist woes, backups battling Brown's beasts, McCarthy's practice tease, Wentz's mixed bag. From off-season promise to international injury fest, it's tested our soul, but that's us, unbreakable. Stats scream urgency. 14 sacks allowed, 3.9 yards per rush. But heart? Infinite. Vikings news reminds us, resilience wins rings. What's your bold prediction for London? Upset or survival? Spill it below. I read every one. Final huddle, Warriors. If this fired you up, smash that like button. Let's hit 10K. Subscribe for daily Vikings news drops. Turn on notifications so you never miss a skull shout. Comment your O-line fix ideas. Share with your fellow purple diehards. And tag a friend who's dodging the pain. Together we rise, Skull Vikings. Until next time, keep the faith. Purple reign forever.